I died choking on my own blood. The taste of betrayal as sharp as the shards of glass from the shattered wine bottle that smashed into my temple. My fiancé's face hovered above me, twisted not in horror, but in cold calculation, while my best friend, sister in all but blood, watched from the shadows, her lipstick-smudged glass still in hand. "You were always too trusting, Alice," she whispered, as the world faded to black, my empire crumbling with my last breath. But death isn't the end, it's just the universe's cruel reset button. I woke up gasping in my old queen-sized bed in my Wicker Park apartment, the year 2018 screaming back at me from my phone's lock screen, 5 years before the night that ended me. My hands, young and unscarred, trembled as I touched my face, the mirror confirming the impossible. I was 25 again, alive, with the ghosts of my future screaming for vengeance. The hook lodged in my throat wasn't just the wine glass, it was the secret they'd buried under my corpse, my company's dirty money, laundered through my name. A frame job so perfect it painted me as the villain in my own life. Now, with time rewound like a bad horror flick, I'd rewrite the script. No more victim. This time, I'd make them bleed without lifting a finger. The first thing I did after staring at my reflection for what felt like hours was delete every contact that wasn't ironclad. My phone buzzed with a text from Sarah, my so-called best friend, reminding me about our girls' night at that dive bar in Logan Square. In my old life, that night led to the engagement party where Mark proposed, sealing my fate with a diamond ring and a dagger in the back. This time, I typed back a breezy rain check, "Babe," swamped with work, and hit send before I could second-guess it. Chicago's summer humidity clung to my skin like a bad memory as I stepped out onto Damon Avenue, the L train rumbling overhead like the pounding in my chest. I was Alice Harper again, heir to Harper Innovations, the tech startup Dad built from a garage in the suburbs into a mid-tier player in app development. In 5 years, I'd expanded it into AI, consulting, but that growth was the poison pill. Mark, my golden boy fiancé from a rival firm, had sweet-talked his way into the boardroom and my bed, while Sarah, the marketing whiz I'd poached from a competitor, fed him intel from the inside. Their affair started innocently enough, or so the emails I'd hacked in my dying days revealed, late-night brainstorming sessions that turned into motel romps. But the real knife twist? They didn't just steal my heart, they stole my legacy. Dads left me everything, but with creative accounting they pinned on me. The feds swooped in, the stock tanked, and I ended up suiciding in our Gold Coast penthouse to escape the scandal. Autopsy said accident, I knew better. Sarah's parting words echoed, "You were the loose end, Alice." I hailed a cab to the Loop, my mind racing faster than the traffic on Michigan Avenue. First order, secure the company. I had the advantage of hindsight, knew the exact quarter when our lead developer would jump ship to Silicon Valley, taking proprietary code with him. I'd head that off at the pass. But revenge wasn't a checklist, it was a symphony, and I needed to compose it note by perfect, poisonous note. By noon, I was in the glass-walled conference room at Harper HQ, a sleek tower overlooking the Chicago River. The team assembled, oblivious to the storm brewing in my eyes. "All right, folks," I said, channeling the polished CEO I'd become in the life that got erased. "We're pivoting hard on the Echo app. Forget the social features. We're going full AI ethics compliance. And Dev, if you're thinking about that Bay Area gig." I paused, locking eyes with him. His face paled. "Stick around. We've got equity bumps coming." Murmurs rippled. Sarah, seated across from me in her impeccable sheath dress, shot me a puzzled smile. Alice, this is aggressive. The board's gonna flip. Her voice was honey over gravel. The same tone she'd used to convince me Mark was the one. Let them, I replied, my smile sharper than a switchblade. Aggressive is how we survive in this city. Inside, I itched to spill it all. How she'd siphoned client funds into offshore accounts. How Mark's firm had bid on our contracts using insider tips. But no. Premature kills the thrill. I needed them close, thinking they had the upper hand. That evening, I met Mark for dinner at RPM Italian, the same spot where he'd proposed in my timeline. He was there early, all broad shoulders and easy charm in his tailored Brooks Brothers shirt, nursing a Negroni. Alice, you look different. Glowing. His kiss on my cheek lingered too long, already staking claim. We ordered the burrata, and as the waiter poured our wine red, like the blood I'd spilled, I leaned in. Mark, I've been thinking about us, about the future. His eyes lit up, predatory. In the old life, I'd gushed about merging companies post-wedding. This time, what if we slow down, focus on our careers first? The fork paused midway to his mouth. Slow down? Babe. We're killing it. Your app, plus my algorithms? We'd own Chicago tech. He reached for my hand, but I pulled back just enough to make it sting. I'm not saying no. Just. Let's build empires before we build a life. It was a lie wrapped in truth, the first barb in his armor. He laughed it off, but I saw the flicker, doubt, the seed of paranoia I'd water religiously. Back home, alone in my apartment with its exposed brick and skyline views, I pored over old files on my laptop. The secret they'd buried, Dad's original code for Echo, wasn't just innovative, it was borderline unethical. Scraping user data without full consent. In my rush to grow, I'd ignored the red flags, letting Sarah handle the compliance reports. They twisted that into my fraud, making it look like I'd greenlit the whole mess. But now, I'd weaponize it. Leak just enough to taint them. Not me. Sleep came fitful, haunted by flashes of that final night. Mark's hands around my throat, disguised as a struggle, Sarah's laugh as sirens wailed. I woke sweating, the clock reading 3:17 a.m., the exact minute I'd coded as my death time. Coincidence? Or the universe's sick joke? The next week blurred into calculated chaos. I poached talent from Mark's firm, undercutting his bids on city contracts. Sarah noticed. Of course, her emails to him, which I now monitored via a ghost app I'd installed during a casual office visit, were frantic. She's onto something. We need to accelerate. Accelerate what? Their exit strategy? No doubt. In the old timeline, they'd waited until the merger papers were signed. I decided to stir the pot. At the annual tech summit in the McCormick Place, I cornered a journalist from Crane's Chicago business during the cocktail hour. Off the record, Harper's doubling down on privacy. But some competitors. I trailed off, letting her imagination fill in the blanks. By Monday, headlines screamed, tech rivals clash over data ethics, with Mark's firm taking the heat. Sarah confronted me in the ladies' room, her reflection in the marble sink accusatory. What the hell? Alice? This isn't you. Her perfume, Chanel no. 5. The scent that clung to my deathbed made my stomach turn. Isn't it? I powdered my nose, meeting her gaze coolly. Survival of the fittest?
right? You taught me that.
She hesitated, then forced a hug. We're family. Don't forget that.
Family. The word tasted like ash.
As I left, my phone pinged, an anonymous tip line confirmation. I'd sent the first breadcrumb, an altered email chain showing Sarah's oversight in a minor compliance glitch. Nothing damning yet, just enough to make her sweat. But revenge is a hungry beast, and mine was starving. Late one night, scrolling through Mark's socials, he still hadn't blocked me. Arrogance. I saw the photo, him and Sarah at a rooftop bar in River North. Arms linked, her head on his shoulder.
Timestamp. Last week.
In this life, they had waited for me to be out of the picture. Rage boiled, but I funneled it. Controversial decision number 1. I'd seduce the truth out of him. Not for love, for leverage. I texted, "Miss you. Dinner tomorrow? My place." His reply was instant. "Can't wait." Beautiful. The meal was oh so buco from Alla Vita. Candles flickering on my dining table. Wine flowed, and so did his confessions, loosened by the Chianti. "Alice, you're changing." "It's hot." His hand on my thigh under the table. "Tell me about your side projects," I purred, tracing his jaw. "The ones that keep you up at night."
He bit.
Spilling about a side hustle with data brokers, exactly the shady dealings that had doomed me before. I recorded it all, hidden in my smart speaker. As he kissed me, pulling me toward the bedroom, I whispered, "Trust me?" It was the line he'd fed me once.
Now.
It was my hook. We tumbled into sheets that still smelled of lavender from my old life, his body familiar yet foreign. Guilt flickered. Was this betrayal or justice? But as he groaned my name, I saw Sarah's face in my mind, and the flicker died. This was war, and in war, you use every weapon. Morning light filtered through the blinds as he dressed, oblivious. Last night was intense. He grinned.
Boyish.
"Let's do it again soon." I smiled back, already composing the anonymous foreword to the SEC, questionable data practices at Apex Algorithms. He left with a kiss. I left for the shower, scrubbing away the night like evidence. But the mirror showed no regret, only resolve. The game was on, and Chicago's winds were shifting in my favor.
Yet.
As I toweled off, a chill hit, a voicemail from Mom. Voice frail from the suburbs. "Alice. Honey. Your father's old partner called. Said something about irregularities in the will." Irregularities. The buried secret's first crack. I deleted it. Not yet. But the past was clawing back, and I wondered if rebirth came with strings. Mom's call gnawed at me like a bad investment during the drive to Oak Park, where the Harper family home squatted under ancient oaks, its Victorian facade hiding skeletons older than my grudge. I'd avoided this trip in the early days of my reset life. Too raw from Dad's death, cancer. Quick and merciless 2 years prior.
But now,
with the will's irregularities dangling like bait, I couldn't ignore it. The suburbs hit different post-rebirth. Kids on bikes. Lawnmowers humming. The American dream's glossy veneer. Mom greeted me at the door in her cardigan and pearls, eyes red-rimmed. "Alice, you look thin. Work eating you alive." "Something like that," I said, hugging her stiffly. The kitchen smelled of lemon bars. Her stress-baked special. Over coffee, she slid a manila folder across the Formica table. "Your father's lawyer forwarded this." Some addendum. I didn't understand half of it. I flipped it open, heart slamming. There it was, a codicil to Dad's will, dated months before his diagnosis, transferring a 10% stake in Harper Innovations to Silent Partners for consulting services. Silent Partners? Code for bribes. Or worse. The signature line was blank, but the notary stamp matched Elias Grant, Dad's old college buddy, now a shadowy venture capitalist with ties to Mark's firm. Jesus, I muttered, the pieces slotting like a nightmare puzzle. In my old life, this never surfaced. The scandal buried it under my fraud. But here, it was the root of their scheme. Dad hadn't known. The consulting was a front for Grant funneling dirty money through the company. Money Mark and Sarah later laundered via Echo's data sales. I'd been the patsy, the trusting daughter who signed off on expansions without digging deep.
Mom.
Why didn't you tell me sooner? My voice cracked. The first real emotion since waking up. She wrung her hands. You were so busy.
Honey.
And after.
Well.
I thought it died with him. Died with him. Like I almost had. I pocketed the folder, promising to handle it. Lies were my new currency. Driving back. Lakeshore Drive's lake view mocked me, serene waves hiding undercurrents. Controversial decision to confront Grant. Not legally, personally. Make him squirm. Extract a confession. Risky? Hell yes. But fear was the luxury of the dead. Grant's office was in the Aeon Center, all marble and menace. His assistant waved me in without question, perks of the Harper name. Elias Grant rose from his leather throne, silver fox hair gleaming, handshake firm. Alice, to what do I owe the pleasure? Bourbon. Truth, I said, sinking into the chair opposite.
No preamble.
I slapped the codicil down. Dad's will. Your services.
Spill.
His laugh was a bark. Genuine surprise fading to steel. Ancient history.
Girl.
Your old man needed capital. I provided. Strings attached? Business. Strings like laundering through my app? Like setting me up to take the fall. The words hung. Controversial as accusing a man of felony without proof. His eyes narrowed. Bingo. You're out of line, Alice. And misinformed. But his fingers drummed the desk. Telltale tick. I leaned forward, voice low. I know about Apex. Mark's feeding you echo data. Sarah's signing off. You think I won't go to the feds? Bluff. Pure and simple. But it landed. Careful. MS. Harper. Slander cuts both ways. He buzzed his assistant. Meeting over. Outside. Rain slicked the streets. My adrenaline crashing. I'd poked the bear. Now it knew I had claws. Phone buzzed. Sarah. Lunch? Need to talk strategy. Strategy.
Cute.
We met at the Gauge in the Loop. Pub fare and pints masking the tension. She dove in with small talk, gossip about a rival CEO's affair, but I steered sharp. Heard from Grant lately? Her fork froze midair. Salad impaled.
Who?
Elias. Dad's old pal. Stirring up ghosts. I sipped my IPA. Casual as a serial killer. She recovered, flashing that megawatt smile. No clue. Why? Just tying loose ends. Company's future depends on clean slates. The subtext screamed, I know. Lunch dragged, her probing my changes. You're different.
Alice.
Harder. Mark says you're pulling away. There it was, their united front cracking. Mark talks too much. I paid the bill, leaving her with the checkmate line. Loyalty's a two-way street. Sarah. Back at the office. Emails piled. A whistleblower tip on Apex's data grabs. Anonymous, my work. Funneled through a VPN. Mark called. Voice edged. Babe. What's with the SEC noise? My board's freaking. Oops. I feigned. Miscommunication. Or maybe not. Clean up your act. Mark.
Click.
Nights blurred into a haze of surveillance and seduction. I'd betted him twice more. Each time mining confessions, whispers of off-books deals, names dropped like grants. Sarah's jealousy simmered. Her texts turned icy. Spying on my calendar for gaps. The controversy brewed at the company retreat in Door County. Wisconsin lakeside cabins. Team-building kayaks. Forced fun. I volunteered to lead a trust exercise, ironic as hell. Paired with Sarah, blindfolded trust falls into the surf. As she hesitated on the dock, waves lapping, I murmured, "Fall for me, friend." Like I did for you. She fell, splashing, emerging sputtering. What the fuck? Alice. Laughter from the group masked it, but her eyes burned. That night, bonfire crackling, Mark pulled me aside. Sarah's worried. Says you're paranoid. Paranoid? I laughed.
Low.
Or prepared. His kiss was desperate. Claiming. We snuck to the boathouse. Passion fueled by friction, his need to reassure, mine to disarm. Post-coitus. As he dozed on a blanket, I slipped his phone, snapping pics of text to Grant. Harper's sniffing. Accelerate timeline.
Proof.
Gold. Return to Chicago brought escalation. Headlines hit. Harper Innovations sues rival over IP theft. My doing preemptive strike, twisting their planned merger into theft claims. Stock dipped for Apex, mine soared. Mom called again. Voice trembling. Alice. The lawyer says questions about your father's death. Overdose on pain meds.
Cancer meds.
But the codicil hinted tampering. Eased his passing for the stake?
No.
I shut it down. Fake news.
Mom.
I'm handling, but doubt crept. Was Dad's suicide the original sin, paving my path? Rebirth didn't erase bloodlines. Sarah cornered me in the parking garage post-shift, heels clicking like gunfire. Stop this. You're destroying everything. Everything. I echoed. Keys jingling. Like you destroyed me? Her face crumpled. Guilt? Or act? What are you talking about? I stepped close. Breath mingling. I know.
Sarah.
The affair. The money. The night on the rooftop. Lie, my death was penthouse, but close enough to blanch her. You're crazy. She backed away, fleeing to her Audi. Crazy? Maybe. But alive. And gaining. The twist came midweek, an invite to Grant's gala at the Art Institute. Black tie schmooze fest. RSVP yes. Time to dance with devils. The Art Institute's grand hall glittered like fool's gold under chandeliers. Gowns swirling amid suits sharp as switchblades. I arrived solo in a crimson Vera wong that hugged like a second skin. Bold. Controversial. Screaming notice me to the vipers in the room. Mark spotted me first, weaving through donors with a flute of champagne. Sarah on his arm like a match set. Her dress was emerald, envy green. Alice, he breathed, kissing my cheek too familiarly. Sarah's smile was porcelain, cracking at edges. You clean up nice. Occasion calls for it, I replied, clinking glasses. Small talk flowed, tech trends, stock dips, but undercurrents pulled. Grant materialized, arm in arm with a blonde half his age. MS. Harper. Thrilled you made it. Wouldn't miss the show. My eyes flicked to the auction block, artifacts from forgotten empires.
Fitting.
As the evening wore, I circulated, dropping seeds, whispers to investors about Apex's ethics lapses, compliments laced with barbs to Sarah's clients. She cornered me by the Monet. Champagne sloshing. This ends now. The leaks. The lawsuits, it's personal. Is it? I tilted my head, feigning innocence. Or just business? You've changed. Her whisper was venom. The old Alice wouldn't sabotage friends. Friends don't fuck fiancés. The words slipped. Low but lethal. Her eyes widened, busted. You don't know shit, but she fled. Heels echoing. Mark found me on the terrace. City lights sprawling below, like a conquered kingdom. What's with you two? Wind whipped my hair. His hand steadied me. Girl stuff.
Lie.
I turned, pressing close. Dance with me? We swayed to jazz strains, his breath hot on my neck. Marry me, Alice.
Soon.
Merge everything. Desperation dripped, their timeline crumbling. Not yet, I murmured, hand slipping into his pocket for his phone. A quick snap of the group chat. Him, Sarah, Grant. Contingency. Eliminate loose ends, Harper. Heart stopped. Eliminate. Not frame kill. My death was an accident. It was contract. I pulled back. Smile frozen. Need air. Slipped inside. Texted my planted mole at the Tribune. Story on Apex execs. Affair.
Fraud.
Sources confirm. Chaos brewed by dessert. Murmurs rippling as phones buzzed with breaking news alerts. Tech scandal. Apex algorithms in hot water over data theft. Faces paled. Grants turned thunderous. He cornered me in a side alcove, grip bruising my arm. You bitch. This you're doing? Proof speaks, I hissed, wrenching free. Dad's stake? You're laundering? It's over. His laugh was ugly. You think you win? Your father's death, helped along. Pills in his scotch. For the company. Ice-flooded veins. Dad murdered? For equity. Bastard. Business.
Alice.
Like this. He lunged, not punch, but grabbed for my clutch, where the phone picks hid. I dodged. Heel cracking tile. Touch me, and it's assault on top of murder. Security swarmed. He retreated, seething. Mark and Sarah watched from afar, united in panic. I left early, cab to my apartment a blur. Home. I poured scotch, Dad's brand, and scrolled evidence, codicil, texts, recordings. Enough for indictments. But Grant's confession? Hearsay without witness. Controversial decision 3. Go public. Not lawsuit, live stream. American justice. Trial by tweet. Outrage as jury. Dawn broke gray. I called a presser for noon. Mom texted. Saw the news. Proud? Scared?
Both.
I replied. The conference room swarmed, cameras flashing, mics thrusting. Harper Innovation stands against corruption. I began. Voice steady. Today, I released documents proving embezzlement by rivals, including my former associates.
Gasps.
I cued the video. Blurred faces. Voices damning. Mark's side hustle. Sarah's approvals. No names yet. Let speculation fester. Questions flew. MS. Harper. Affair rumors? Personal vendetta? Betrayal is the ultimate business risk, I parried. This is about integrity. Offstage. Sarah lunged, but PR yanked her. Mark's call flooded in voicemail. You crazy whore. You'll pay. Pay? I'd already paid in blood. Aftermath. Stock surged. Apex tanked 30%. Protests outside their HQ, data privacy activists, my silent allies. But blowback hit. Anonymous docs. My address leaked. Tires slashed. Knights armored now. Gun in nightstand. Chicago's gift to the paranoid. Mom visited. Folder in hand. Elias confessed? To what? We sat on her porch. Fireflies dancing. Dad's death. Maybe. Tears came.
Hot.
I failed him once. Not again. She squeezed my hand. You were always his fighter. Rebirth's gift, clarity. But also curse. Every choice echoed. Sarah's email arrived midnight. Meet. Alone. Millennium Park. 2 a.m. End this. Trap? Or olive branch? I armed up, pepper spray, recorder, and went. Bean sculpture gleamed under moon. Shadows long. She waited by the bridge. Cigarette glowing. You win.
Alice.
We're done. Done. I laughed bitter. After killing Dad? Me? Her face twisted. Not me.
Grant.
Mark pushed.
I.
Covered.
Covered.
Accomplice.
Why? Love. Power.
You had it all. Envy.
Raw.
I stepped closer. And now, take the company. I'll disappear. Lie. Eyes darted to shadows. Movement, Mark. Emerging gun-tucked jacket. She lied. Alice. For us. Heart thundered. Us. He raised it, silencer glint. Loose end again. Sarah screamed.
No.
Lunging not at me. At him. Shot cracked. Muffled. She crumpled. Red blooming chest. No gore in moonlight. Just shadow spread. Mark froze. Horror reel. Sarah, I ran not away.
Toward. Tackled him. Spray in eyes. He howled. Gun skittering. Pinned him. Dialing 911. Shooting. Millennium Park. Sirens wailed. Cuffs clicked. Sarah gasped. Medics swarming. Suddy.
Alice. I held her hand. Controversial mercy. Why tell? Redemption. Faint smile.
Die en route.
Mark ranted in squad car. She forced it. Frame.
Lies.
But truth? I'd push them to brink. Dawn interrogation. My evidence sealed it. Murder 1. Conspiracy. Grant folded. Copping to Dad's killing 4 debts. Vengeance tasted ash. Company mine. Untainted. But scars? Eternal. Mom's hug at funeral. Sarah's. Small affair. Whispered. Proud.
Was I?
Reborn.
Yes. Whole.
Never. The fallout from Millennium Park hit like a Midwest blizzard, swift. blinding, burying everything under white-hot scrutiny. By breakfast, my face plastered every feed. Tech heiress exposes murder plot. CNN looped the body cam footage. Pixelated Mercy blurring Sarah's last breath. I watched from my kitchen, coffee bitter, as pundits dissected, hero or homewrecker, Harper's revenge porn or justice porn. Chicago ate it up, front page trib, water cooler fodder from Wrigleyville to the West Loop. Harper stock tripled, offers poured from VCs. Silicon Valley headhunters whispering 9 figures. But Victory's afterglow faded fast. Mom called daily. Voice a mix of awe and ache. People stare at the grocery store. Say you're saint.
Saint.
If only she knew the sins I'd tallied to get here. Controversial decision for no victory lap. I shuddered the presser circuit. Holed up in the office, purging every trace of their rot. Devs confessed inspirations from Apex code, slapped wrists, NDAs. But the real purge?
Me.
Therapy sessions with a shrink in Lincoln Park, unpacking the dead life's baggage. You died, she probed, neutral as a scalpel.
Worse, I said.
I lived it twice. Half-truth, she prescribed journaling, not straitjackets. Nights. Though, the ghosts partied hard. Sarah's laugh echoing in dreams. Mark's gun glint. Dad's final coughs. Pills or poison. Autopsy pending. But Grant's deal included spilling. He'd spiked the scotch. Mercy for a dying man in debt to mobbed-up lenders. My inheritance? Collateral. Rage reignited. I'd nailed the players. But the house? Untouched. Controversial pivot. Infiltrate the underbelly. Chicago's shadows hid worse than tech bros. Outfits like the Outfit 2.0. Laundering through startups. Grant's silent partners traced to a River North club. The vault. Velvet ropes and veiled threats. I went undercover, not glamorous spy shit, but calculated risk. Dyed hair platinum. Thrift store LBD. Posing as a jaded investor at their poker nights. First recon. Solo bourbon at the bar. Ears perked. Harper girl's a problem, a thick-necked suit muttered to his crony. Fed sniffing now. My cue. Slid onto a stool beside. Eavesdropping's rude.
Boys.
Buy a girl a drink. They bit. Names dropped. Vinny Russo. Grant's handler. By week's end, I had a date. Poker table.
High stakes.
Lost $5,000 intentionally. Charm masking the wire in my bra. Vinny was oil slick. Pinky ring flashing. You play dirty. Harper. Knew me.
Shit.
Only when winning's the goal. Flirted. Folded bad hands.
Post-game.
His penthouse comped Lakeview.
King bed.
Controversial? Sleeping with the enemy, for tape. But as he boasted, Grant was small fry. Your pop's debt? Ours. I hit record. Paid in full with his lights out. Clean. Jackpot. Dawn escape. His snores mocking. Uploaded to cloud.
Anonymous drop to FBI.
Blowback swift. Tail on my commute. Slashed brakes warning. Hired muscle. Ex-cop PI. Grizzled vet named Ray. This town's rotten.
Kid.
You sure? Surer than sunrise. American grit. Or foolhardy. Company thrived amid storm. Echo relaunched. Privacy first. Endorsements from ACLU. But personal? Barren. Dates fizzled. Trust a casualty. One guy. Barista cute architect. Ghosted post-dinner. Too intense.
Alice.
Saw the news. Intense. Code 4 damaged. Mom's birthday loomed, 65. Quiet dinner at Gibson's. I arrived early. Gift-wrapped pearls. She opened the door beaming, but eyes shadowed.
Alice.
The trial starts Monday. Mark's lawyer called. Says you'll testify.
Testify.
Relive it all under fluorescent glare. Cross-exam jabs. Will you, she pressed. Have to. Lie to self, truth to her. For Dad. Courtroom downtown. Oak benches packed. Mark entered shackled. Once charming face gaunt. Eyes hollow. Sarah's absence loomed. Empty chair.
Her plea deal voided by death.
Grant testified first. Sniveling. Coerced.
Debts.
My turn. Oath.
Stand.
Voice steady. They planned it. Merger.
Frame. Kill.
Exhibits flashed, texts, recordings. DA played the boathouse clip. Gasps rippled. Defense hammered. MS. Harper.
Your.
Intimacies with Mr. Ellis. Motive for fabrication. Intimacy. Euphemism for my weapons. Love blinds. So does hate. Jury murmured. Judge banged gavel. Outside. Protesters, feminists cheering, slay the patriarchy. Tech bros jeering witch hunt. Controversies double edge. Verdict. Guilty. Life. No parole. Mark's scream echoed as guards dragged him. They destroyed us. Alice.
Us.
Including Sarah. Her funeral replayed, closed casket. Her mom's wail. I'd visited grave. Wildflowers on marble. Rest. Traitor. Post-trial haze. Book deals dangled.
TED Talk invites. Declined.
Instead. Foundation. Harper Ethics Fund. Scholarships for whistleblowers. Redemption arc, but twist lurking. Ray called late. Your mom's place. Compromise docs. Race to Oak Park. Found her shaken. Folder shredded. Intruders. Took the will addendum. Russo's cleanup. Mom.
Pack.
You're with me. She resisted. This is home. But relented. My high-rise now hers. Guest suite fortified. That night. Over tea. She confessed. Your father.
Knew. About the debts.
Told me to protect you.
Protect. Failed.
Tears shared. First real bridge since rebirth. Dawn brought raid news. FBI stormed the vault. My wire the spark. Vinny cuffed. Empire crumbling. Grant flipped fully. Mob ties unraveling. Vengeance complete? Almost. One loose thread. My own secret. In old life, I'd ignored Dad's warnings. Don't trust fast. Alice. Hubris killed us both.
Now?
I'd atone. Donated 20% stake to fund. Board diverse, women, minorities, watchdogs. But peace? Elusive. Dream shifted, not death, but rebirth's void. Who was I without the fight? A knock, Ray. Bottle in hand. Celebrate. We did. Whiskey toasts on balcony. His stories, cocktails, loss mirrored mine. Hand brushed, spark. Controversial? Dating the bodyguard. But alive meant risking heart. As Chicago's skyline twinkled, I whispered to stars. This time, I win. Months melted into a fragile normalcy. Chicago's seasons turning like pages in a choose-your-own adventure I finally controlled. Fall leaves carpeted Grant Park as I walked Mom to therapy. Hers for grief. Mine for ghosts. The Ethics Fund launched with fanfare. Gala at the Field Museum. T-Rex skeleton grinning approval. I spoke. No notes. Betrayal taught me vigilance. But forgiveness? That's the real power move. Crowd applauded. Ray, in corner suit,
Winked.
our arrangement evolved. Dinners at Girl and the Goat. Hikes in Starved Rock. No labels. But his hand in mine felt like anchor, not chain. You're healing, he said one night. Post-Argyle sweater weather cuddle. Or just getting better at faking? Both.
Truth.
Rebirth scar itch less. Company hummed. Echo 2.0 beta tested. User trust metrics soaring.
No scandals, audits eskeaki.
But echoes lingered. Emails from Mark's prison. Rambling pleas. I loved you. Twisted. Burned unread. Controversial Decision 5. Visit. Not mercy, closure. Stateville Correctional. Razor wire glinting autumn sun. He shuffled in. Orange jumpsuit swallowing frame. Eyes dead fish. Alice. Whisper. Like prayer. Mark. Neutral.
Why?
Table between. Mike's humming. Power. You were the prize.
Sarah.
She hated your ease. I fed it.
Ease. My old naivete. Dad.
Grant's call. I greenlit. Flat.
No remorse.
I leaned in. Regret. Every day.
Lie.
Truth didn't matter.
Stood.
Rot here. Outside. Air crisp. Freedom's rush. Ray waited. Coffee steaming. Worth it. Catharsis. Drove home.
Windows down.
Wind therapy. Winter blanketed the city. Holidays a minefield. Mom hosted. Turkey. Trimmings. Her laugh returning. Ray carved. Stories of botched stakeouts, lightning table. Toast to Dad. Sarah's ghost absent. To second chances, I said.
Clinking.
New Year's Eve. Alone on rooftop, Ray on shift, I reflected. Fireworks burst over Lake Michigan. Colors fracturing night. Rebirths tally. Empire intact. Betrayers caged. Family mended. But cost? Innocence. Lovers lost. Soul scarred. Phone buzzed unknown. Loose ends tie. Harper. Watch shadows. Russo's remnant? FBI said mopped up. Paranoia prickled. Ray texted. All clear. Home soon. I waited. Gun nearby. Door clicked, he entered. Snow-dusted. Trouble. Always. Pulled him close.
Kish dipand.
Clothes shedding like old skin. Bed tangled. Body sinking, trust rebuilt in moans. Post-bliss. His whisper. Marry me?
No merger.
Just us. Heart stuttered. Controversial? Vows after vendetta. Yes.
Simple.
Spring bloomed. Wedding small city hall. Mom matron. Ray's partner best man. Vows exchanged overlooking river. Boats chugging. In sickness. Health. Revenge, he joked. Especially revenge. Laughter sealed. But twist waited. Summer solstice sharp. Board meeting. Routine until email pinged. Anonymous attachment. Video file. Time-stamped my old death night.
Clicked.
Penthouse blur. My body slumped. Mark hovering. But new angle, Sarah. Not watching, directing. Finish it. For us. Her hand on his, guiding the bottle's smash.
Gasped.
Ray. What? More. Deeper betrayal, she'd orchestrated. Not covered. Why send now? Send her. Justice delayed. Your mom knew. Mom? Raced to her. Confrontation kitchen. The will.
Dad's death.
You hid.
Tears.
He begged.
Protect you from debts. Sarah.
She came to me. Blackmailed. Sign over. Or expose. I did. For you. For me. Complicity's chain. You let them kill me? Thought frame. Not murder.
Sobs.
Forgive. Controversial end. Walk away? Or sever. Held her. We heal. Together.
No caps. Statute.
Closure. Burn drive. Mom checked into rehab. Truth's detox. Summer waned. I stood lakeshore. Toes in sand. Ray beside. Hand warm.
Twist.
Life's full. Smile genuine. Company global now. Ethics beacon. Fun scholarships, Sarah's name. Ironic grace. Rebirth's lesson. Vengeance sates. But love sustains. Betrayal's shadow fades. Dawn breaks American gritty. Relentless. Redeemed. As sun dipped, I whispered to waves, we made it.